Welcome back, everybody, and happy Saturday. It's Saturday, so of course you know it is the Sussex Crash Report, or as I like to call it, the days of our Montecito lives. It's truly become my soap opera. Let's be real. You know, it's funny. The Sussex Crash Report started as a one-off because there was just 1 week where Harry and Meghan just kept flopping and flopping and flopping, and yeah. Now it seems to be a regular occurrence. I mean, I'm not mad, gives me a new soap opera since I ain't home in the middle of the day to watch the real days of our lives. So today we have my story about Scott Snow, because I am not done talking about how Harry ghosted a veteran and then accepted an award from TIME100. And while accepting it, mentioned that he probably would not be here because of the Invictus Games. I think you should have a little chat with Scott Snow, hey? Then we're going to get on to Meghan merchandising the Invictus Games. And while they claim to not make money out of the Invictus Games, I think merchandising the clothes that you wear to an event that is publicizing basically you is merching. And we've got, as ever, on life support. It's a little crazy because I know you guys, sometimes you say, oh, it's already failed. No, it hasn't. The business is still open, okay? She's still charging people. If I wanted some runny jam and by fruit spread, then I could still get some. Or champenoise, or as we used to call it in Ohio and Kentucky, champanale. However, I have some new information on that. Also having some new information on just how unlucky she is trying to sell stuff and be in the fashion business. Then we've got Princess Anne, one of my favorite royals. I have to say, I know that everyone loves William and Catherine. Some people like King Charles. Some people like Queen Camilla. I am a Princess Anne girl because I don't know. She just seems like she'd be fun as hell, doesn't she? And she pulls no punches. So she's my soul sister. And I had a friend of mine tell me exactly what went down at a dinner party recently. Ooh, and then we are going to end on a spurious tip I got about, this is great, Harry may actually be in London right now. I use the word may in big, bold, underline, blaring. Someone claims to have seen him roaming around the Kensington Park area, but we're going to talk about it. There are 2 reasons why he actually could be there. And I'm going to get into it I'm pretty excited because today I've got Lauren the Insider and I heart her. Hi, Lauren.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you
for having me.
All right, let's get into it. I just am so furious about what happened to this man right here, Scott Snow. And by the way, if you can turn your mic up a little bit, that would be awesome. I think I'm having a bit of a problem hearing you.
Paula, you're asking things that I don't even know how to. Do you know my first 2 podcasts? I didn't even turn the mic on.
Oh my God, me too.
That's what we're dealing with.
God. Wait, hold on. I did entire podcasts where people are like, I can't hear you, lady. What the hell? And I was like, okay, forget it. I think your mic is fine. I think it's my speakers. We'll move on. So let's discuss Scott Smith, all right? Or Scott Snow, so sorry. I'm absolutely furious. Harry went on whinging about his mental health and him. And, of course, everything is about him and Meghan, to him and Meghan. And now he's got this award from TIME100. And I've gotten into it about how exactly these BS awards work. But it really absolutely infuriates me that Harry's going on about how great Invictus is, how great he is, and he's excited to win this award. And then you've got Scott Snow, who lives in constant pain because of a horrific injury he got during wheelchair rugby. So
yeah, I think as well, it's Harry always hides behind philanthropy, humanitarian work, censorship. He hides behind vulnerable areas. So people then think, oh, I feel really awkward criticizing him. But he is such a fraud to me. He is a dangerous person in the sense that he gets put on a pedestal by these media outlets, or he gets celebrated by the Labour government and given the £26.6 million. And Invictus exists to rehabilitate not only Harry's image, but to give him a sense of purpose to the public. Because take away Invictus, he's just got a few ad hoc speaking gigs, which he knows nothing about. And this doesn't seem to me to be a man that is actually driven to do the groundwork and to do the right thing, because he had, like you said from your interview, Scott Snow had reached out to Harry, had reached out to Harry's office and everything like that. Now, when an event finishes and you are a celebrity or someone in the public eye, and if it's ultimately your event, you would be sent all of the press cuttings. You'd see what had happened, even if someone had not told you, which is simply impossible. So there's no way Harry doesn't know what has happened to Scott, which makes it even more abhorrent that nothing has been done.
Yeah. And he talks about teamwork and, all these military slogans like all for one for all, no man left behind. And, Scott also had PTSD. Scott has a massive, massive problem with feeling abandoned and being left behind. And, Harry talks about, I wouldn't be here without Invictus. Well, what about the guy who was in Invictus, the actual veteran? And you're right. It's infuriating that people use veterans because they, we've seen this a lot in the celebrity space, if you will, right? Someone is going through a bad press time and they go, oh, I'm pregnant. And of course, you can't talk about pregnant people, can you? Can't say a bad thing. Or you're talking about something and they go, but veterans. And you're like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, veterans. And Scott, what I loved about Scott was he was so classy. He's from this tiny little town in Canada. He doesn't really want money. He wants what's right from the Canadian government, but he refused to sue Invictus because he said, I don't want to harm anything that helps veterans. And
I don't understand how evidently there's a real problem with the governance of Invictus, because the fact that he was able to get into that wheelchair and take part in that and didn't have insurance. Now, my background years and years ago was events. I used to work at the Brit Awards, and I know about putting together big events and being part of a team, and the red tape and the admin that goes into it is unbelievable. But it's there for a reason. Yes, it's boring, but it's there so everyone is protected and everything is done above board. That's the bit I'm really shocked about, is that they haven't double checked it their side. Because of course, if someone's getting ready for Invictus, they will have lots of things to do. You wouldn't, as an event organizer, rely on other people doing things that I would say is a legal obligation for Invictus.
Thank you. I mean, I don't like to do anything if it's not insured. I'm like, hold on, is putting on my shoe insured? One moment. Yes, I'm in my apartment. I have apartment insurance. But, it bothers me that they trained him. He was not in a wheelchair before Invictus. Ironically, he was after for a few months. But they trained him on a chair with restraints, and he didn't get a chair with restraints. And also, they told him to get travel insurance, not any other insurance. And he refuses. He still says that training for the Invictus Games and playing that one day was so wonderful for him and so good for him because he felt like part of a team again.
Yeah.
So imagine that mental ride, right? You feel like you're a team again. You feel like you're part of something again. And, just for people out there who don't know, I do a lot of work with the Navy SEALs, and
I'm obsessed with the SEALs.
It's a wonderful organization.
But
And
as in the SEALs that do the really, not that it isn't all serious, but I believe it was the SEALs that captured
Osama bin Laden.
Yes. And I remember I went down the rabbit hole on this. They had to land. Sorry, this is a bit of a pivot, but I'm really geeky. They had to land the helicopters, sneak in using nightlights, and they took dogs in, and the dogs have all this protective gear on. And I remember just going and checking, did all the dogs survive? It was amazing the work the SEALs do.
No, it is. And the thing about the SEALs is that they've all told me, and a lot of people have PTSD from that kind of work. And they tell me that, once you're out of the military, your whole framework disappears. Your whole structure disappears. You need structure, you need support, and to feel like a team again is so important. And Scott was saying the same thing. But then to feel absolutely abandoned by your team. Well, Harry, I suggest you talk to Scott about his mental health because, he's having a rough time and it's not pretty. But back to Harry, and what makes it even worse for me, Lauren, is that they claim this is all charity. All right. And we can get into, the shady gray area of charities as well. And we all know Invictus, it's ridiculous that the Department of Defense in the US puts on the Warrior Games every year for about $2 million. And they have more competitors, whereas Invictus puts it on for 40 to 60 million euros or pounds. And
and I think especially over in the UK as well, our veterans are treated so badly by our government. And the fact that this government have given the amount of money they have, now it was given by the Conservatives, but it will be actioned by Labour. You think, okay, of course, an event for veterans is important. That's a given. But look at the funds. That money could change people's lives long term, because how much impact can a 2-week event or, everything that's happening with it, how much impact can that have? I would argue there's nothing more important than long-term therapy for people that have had their lives destroyed. And so many of them turn to substance abuse. So many of them are waiting for social housing. We've seen Keir Starmer go after our veterans as well. So it makes me really angry when people have given their lives to protect us and they're treated so badly by the government. But, because this prince is blue blood, his organization gets this government grant. And if you just sidestep the grooming gang inquiry in the UK, that for the local one was £5 million. And then Labour are giving Prince Harry £26.6 million. That as well makes my blood boil.
Yes. And it's, we can do another show on Birmingham because I've spoken to people who work with Birmingham City Council, and it is shocking what's going on. And also people are leaving left, right, and center. Melanie Poole, OBE, left. She ain't the kind of girl to leave. But getting back to the original point is Harry and Meghan say, no, this is about the veterans. We don't make money out of this. Although some, they pay people very well. It's a bit of a grift. It's this 2-week event every 2 years, some side projects, and everyone's paid very well.
But also, if you look at Harry and Meghan's schedule, so it's empty, isn't it? But for example, this is the only thing that gets Harry in the press. So he's constantly using it to go to Ukraine, or he's using it to come to the UK for the pre-gala. Last year, he used it in September, where he came over and he was doing activity around it as part of his schedule. So this is the really grey area, because ultimately he's still earning money on many of these trips because he's doing private engagements. But I go back to the point, and the point that is a very Marmite point with many people. This is King Charles's fault. You can't tell a naughty dog off if that dog has a master and that master hasn't controlled that dog. Ultimately, Harry is on the royal website. He is still deeply embedded in the institution. So the buck lies with King Charles, because we know as well how closely the government, the royal family, they all work so closely together. What people see in the public and what actually happens behind the scenes are completely different. So King Charles has allowed the most atrocious behavior to thrive and flourish. The bullying, the list of accusations, it just follows them around, and everything Harry touches is a disaster. But it's actually a serious disaster. It's one thing laughing at what a kind of a train wreck Meghan Markle is, but then when we look at Centre Bali and we look at these harrowing testimonies about rape and torture and so forth.
Oh, from Africa Parks, yes.
Yeah, and so if you're on the royal website, this is where I have a real problem with it, because he's able to raise these funds like he was trying to raise in Arizona because he's blue blood, because he's on the royal website. And everything that Harry, puts his mind to seems to fall apart, but in a very sinister way. And the allegations are really, really concerning.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, they claim they don't make money off of it, but then you have things like this, where this is the outfit that Meghan Markle wore the day that Scott Snow was catastrophically injured. It's now on one-off. And the entire outfit, the dress is about $900. The shoes are about $1,000. The bracelet that, I think some people say her ex-husband gave her, that she now is monetizing, makes up the rest. It's quite a lot of money. And
I also think as well, Paula, this is Meghan, who has gone to see children who are, we don't know if they're terminal or if they are receiving treatment. Either way, they're very poorly. And so the focus should be on those children. Personally, they shouldn't have been wheeled out in front of the world. But I have a real issue with her turning up dripped in £100,000 worth of jewelry. Now, people might say, well, Catherine, Princess of Wales, wears lovely jewelry. She does wear lovely jewelry, but everything about what she does is done with integrity and class. It's so different. Whereas Meghan is there to court the press. It's never about putting the focus on someone else. And I find it really, really distasteful, the fact that she flaunts her wealth, and it's like, I'm rich. I've got the gold tank Cartier watch. I've got Diana's jewelry on. And for someone that is so busy trying to tell us she's got authenticity and integrity, I think it's absolutely vile. And I also think, if we look as well, let's compare. Catherine, Princess of Wales, will constantly use high street things in amongst her clothing and her wardrobe. Meghan Markle is just on a designer blitz to try and show that she's got an expensive wardrobe. I just find that vulgar. I just think we're in completely different times now. It was very different when Diana, Princess of Wales, was here, and the way she spoke was through fashion, and she was the first of her kind, really. But with Meghan, I find it incredibly distasteful. I mean, personally, I don't know why anyone would spend that much on a pair of shoes. I just don't get it myself. But it's putting the focus on all of the wrong things, and that's exactly why she does it.
Well, it's also, it's funny, just as an aside, the Cartier love bracelet, I used to have one. I sold it. Like everyone's got them these days. It's kind of like Louboutin's shoes. The Kardashians wore them. Nobody wants to wear them anymore. They're everywhere. It's like, ugh, another Hermes bag. It's all very like, again, Meghan is, to me, is very 2019. But what
she's very juicy couture tracksuit.
It is very much, and it's very much striving. Everyone, the people who want or whose life goals are Louboutins, Hermes, and a love bracelet, girl, you're going to be letting that club know how. But the point is, that outfit that I just showed you, I'll bring it right back up. This outfit that she was selling, she gets 10 to 20%, so 25% off of sales. So let's pretend that one person bought it, okay? And the entire outfit, and she got $1,000. That would give Scott Snow 10 therapy sessions, that physical therapy sessions that he needs. And the thing for me is that it's so tacky that you're going to go up and do things like this for selling your exact outfit and not actually donate that money or even a portion of proceeds back. It drives me bonkers, but
it's so greedy as well. Everything about them is just greed. How much does someone need? I think that's where, when you get into that mindset of how big is our house, how many toilets does our house have, do we have the best car? It's just so toxic, and the only way is ever down for that, because it's like that. Okay, take the Saint-Tropez harbor, right? Lots of yachts dock there. No one on there looks happy. You know why? Because they're always looking at the next one. Their yacht's bigger. They're never happy. It's that almost chasing the dragon. It's called looking for the hit, the next one again and again. And the fact that she monetizes her outfits like this, I think it's absolutely disgraceful.
At a charity event.
Yeah.
And you'll notice they never give any money back to these people. Their version of show up, do good is show up, smile for the cameras, TikTok, we got to go. And that's it. These people, you know what that hospital in Australia needed? Do you know what Invictus Warriors need? Money.
Yeah,
because
this is the point. The actual work that needs to be done is on the ground, and it is helping people in a really grassroots way. But that kind of help doesn't offer a backdrop. It doesn't offer that glossy edge that Harry and Meghan always look for.
Well, and it's funny because we're going to get to the next story in just 2 seconds, because, as you see the numbers of As Ever plummet, and by that, I mean, you see the traffic plummet, but the also conversion rates are horrible. When she was on ShopMy, the reason why she took it down after 6 months, she had a 0.02 percentage rate conversion, which meant that possibly 5 people bought something off of ShopMy. Now, she thought she was going to be great because there were all these reports that everything she wore sold out. But nobody wants to give her the money. And also, it might have sold out over there, but not with you, girl, because I don't think people want to give you the money when you already have the money. It's kind of like going out to dinner with, this is a better analogy. Going to drinks with the Kennedys, and they're drinking their butts off, and the bill comes and they all go to the bathroom. Because trust me, that happens all the time with that family. They rich, they ain't gonna give no more cash. But
it's what they say about rich people. Often rich people are tight, and they're always happy to give away other people's money, hence the philanthropies, the humanitarian framework, getting their other parasitic elite friends to donate into it so they can all be seen as the do-gooders.
By the way, and also get a tax return. Because when I give 1 million, by the way, I don't have 1 million, but one day when I do, and I donate 1 million, first of all, I won't be telling nobody. But second of all, I get it off on taxes. It's a massive tax break. I
Yeah,
can
it
hide
is.
a lot of other expenses under that.
Yeah.
But
I really feel like charity and philanthropy should be really, really heavily regulated in terms of how much people can use to almost embed it into their brand. I've just seen it so much over my career. And it's like, I do a lot of charity work. I never talk about it. And I don't talk about it because my reason for doing it isn't driven by people liking things on Instagram or saying, oh, that's really good, she's done that. I do it because it's personal to me and I want to do it.
yes.
And Harry and Meghan are so grifty. They're just showing themselves more and more. But I go back to this point. People need to start waking up and seeing that King Charles, everything that people are angry about, King Charles is allowing this.
Yeah.
All the time. They're on the royal website. He is giving them the royal stamp of approval. And I just won't hear anyone say, well, there was a piece of paper written in 1931 and he can't do it. He can do it and I will show him, and I can't even turn a microphone on. He just has to unclick it, because actually at this point, the institution is being so badly damaged.
Well, it's kind of, I'm so sorry. It's kind of like when he said, we can't take away Prince Andrew's title because it would require a writ. 2 days later, he gets heckled in the street. And one day after that, he's like, he's no longer a prince.
Yeah. We're really angry at him. Really angry.
Yes. It didn't need a writ. No act of parliament. Goodbye. You know,
yeah, exactly.
It was all baloney. But it's so funny because the one person in that family whom I love, big hearts, and it's okay if you don't, I know everybody has different tastes, is, hold on, this ladybird, Princess Anne, because you know what?
You just wish she was the firstborn, don't you?
Well, even if she was back then, yeah, I mean, that's true. They would have let her because Queen Elizabeth. But here's the deal. She saw through Meghan almost immediately. And I did a piece for News Nation this week. So if y'all don't know, I also do a newsletter for News Nation, and it comes out and there's all these exclusives, whatnot. And one of them was a friend of mine went to a dinner party that Princess Anne was having. And someone brings up Meghan, and everyone it went icy cold. Everyone looked at each other in disgust. And it was said, well, she couldn't follow. She couldn't, hold on, here we go. She was incapable of fitting in because she could not cope with following simple rules. And she felt she knew better. And once she realized no one was interested in her way, she sequestered herself with Harry and her staff and forced them to do her way to show everyone else how much better it was going to be. And of course, all the staff quit.
The signs were there from the beginning. The minute I saw those reports coming out about emails at 5 a.m., I thought, yeah, forget it. Because you have to slot into a hierarchy when you're in the royal family, and you don't get to kind of snap. And just because you've got a publicist, they're going to do what you want. When you have a publicist, you become very complacent and greedy, because once you have copy approval, you want it all the time. Or once you get approval on all your pat pictures, you want it all the time. And so Meghan was coming from a world whereby she could, to some degree, she was paying the bills of the people that were working for her, so she could demand what she wanted. But it's completely different when you're in the royal family. And I thought, yeah, you are trouble. I knew it when she said, I just asked, is he kind? I thought, you are such a liar.
Well, also, you know that I've always said people who talk about being kind are usually not that nice. And, you know, like the other BS of, I didn't even know who he was. And I was like, girl, please. You know, there was a lot of stuff coming out of her mouth and you're like, whoa, hey, oh, red flag, red flag.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm married now, but when I was single, if I'd go on dates, I barely even needed their surname, and I would have found everything out about them, and I would know so much about them because I've always just loved researching. I thought, you are such a liar, Meghan. There's no way you didn't know. Simply impossible. Let's see your internet history, please.
And by the way, didn't know. Her friends set her up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, it was all just kind of BS. I love that Princess Anne saw through it. Oh, by the way, I have to give a shout out to Lizzie B and Christine Gilbert, because they are giving us super thanks. We love you guys. Thank you.
Love Lizzie B.
Yes. And the other thing is, what kills me is this guy. This is my favorite photo of Harry. So I always just like to do it. So here's the deal. And then I'll let you go, because you do have some spaghetti bolognese.
A 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I've made them spaghetti bolognese. They're very
darling. Okay. So the rumors are that this guy has been seen in London.
Oh.
And I ran it by. I said, no, that can't be true. So I ran it by people, and they said, well, there are 2 reasons. Number one, it's the trooping of the colors, celebrating King Charles's birthday 6 months in advance. So he might be there to try to be like, come on, Daddy, give me an invite to Sandringham. And I know people say, it's Balmoral. It's not. It's Sandringham because there's a flower show. So there we go. But the other reason I'm hearing the Daily Mail verdict, his case against the Daily Mail might be coming down a little bit sooner than everyone else thought. And that he may have rushed over there so that when it comes down, if he wins, he gets to stand on the steps of the Old Bailey and be like, yes, that's right. I stand up against the press. They're horrible.
Yeah, I mean, entirely possible. But I also wouldn't put it past him to come in, have meetings with Charles that are happening when people aren't expecting them to happen, because everything is so highly orchestrated when it comes to optics. I don't trust anything that comes out of the palace, and anything that Harry is doing, I wouldn't just take it on face value. When people say, oh, Meghan's not coming to the UK, he hasn't got his security. No, it doesn't mean that at all. We're in very politically tense times.
Also, by the way, he does have security for that trip.
Well, yeah, but also if he brought Meghan and the children on the trip, it would give the game away. You have to realize that we're dealing with people that are just spending our money, what we all work, and they think we're fools. So I think we're absolutely being played on this.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for that final word. Lauren, you are
Thank you for having me.
Are you kidding? You're the best. I so appreciate you. All right. I will see you soon. And I'm going to, everyone else, stick around for your daily Doug. It's a live one.
Oh, I love your dog.
My goose baby Johnson. Yes.
Doug is the best.
Thank you, my darling. All right, guys. Oh boy, I woke him up out of a nap. He's angry. I know, but he's here. Stanley's here. I love you, bud. And yeah, he's gained a little bit of weight, but that's okay. We both have. It's summer. What are you going to do? And I'm so sorry. He was sheeping. He was. I love him so much. And you know what? I really love and appreciate you guys, because you're the best community. You really are. I just thank you. Remember, like, subscribe. It's still it's so funny to me that like 60% of people will watch, but they won't subscribe, and they'll watch to the end and then they'll come back. And anyway, like, subscribe, join the Order of the Lobster. Doug is its chief intelligence officer, and Stanley is also a member. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for spending time with me. Bye.